Good evening, friends. Professor Brahm Singh, Horticulture Foundation, BSHF, a not-for-profit organization, and myself welcome you all to the talk number 22 of this series. 3H stands for Horticulture for Health and Happiness. BSHF is thankful to Messrs. Syngenta, Patanjali Ayurved Limited and NHRDF to sponsor this webinar series. I welcome co-organizer Dr. Pritam Kalia, ICR, Rafi Ahmed Kidwai Awardee and former head Division of Vegetable Crops, ICAR-IARI New Delhi, and Dr. Shailendra Rajan, Director, ICR, CISH, Lucknow, UP. As you know, the talk this evening is on Papaya for Health and Happiness by Dr. Jay Prakash, Principal Scientist, Division of Fruits and Horticultural Technologies, ICAR-IARI New Delhi. BSHF is thankful to Dr. Jay Prakash to honor its request to deliver the webinar. Friends, the fruit papaya is available all through the year and at all places in the country, besides being pasand or liking of majority of population. The yellow flesh of papaya is rich in beta-carotene vitamin A, which is antioxidant, and it decreases the risk of cancer. The other thing, papain and chymopapin. Enzymes present in the fruit of papaya are beneficial in reducing inflammation, helps in digestion and tenderization of food. That tenderization is coming out of breaking down of protein into peptides and amino acids. The enzymes are powerful digestive aids. Apart from this, papaya also eases constipation, and papaya is packed with iron, folate, B6, calcium, magnesium, vitamins like A, C, B1, B3, B5, E, K, and potassium, making it the perfect food to keep your body going by maintaining immune system of papaya addicts. There should be addiction for papaya, what I advocate. And Dr. Jay Prakash is going to authenticate the role of papaya in human health and happiness with the help of lot of information through PPT. Question can be raised in Hindi or English for answer in question answer box given there, which will be answered if the time permit after the talk. Dr. Pritam Kalia is requested to introduce Dr. Jay Prakash, please.
Good evening, sir. Thank you very much. Most respected Professor Brahm Singh ji, organizer BSHF webinar series, co-organizer Dr. Shailendra Rajan ji, and today's speaker Dr. Jay Prakash ji. It's indeed a pleasure for me to introduce today's speaker who would be talking on papaya for health and happiness. Dr. Jay Prakash, born on 5th May 1976 at Sultanpur in Uttar Pradesh, graduated from Acharya Narendra Dev University of Agriculture and Technology, Ayodhya in 1998. He did his master's in horticulture in 2000 from Chandrasekhar Azad University of Agriculture and Technology, Kanpur, through ICAR-JRF fellowship and had his PhD in horticulture from Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi in 2003. Dr. Jay Prakash joined ARS services in April 2003 at ICR Northeastern region at Barapani and was posted at its regional station Lambuchera, Tripura. He was selected as senior scientist in IARI in 2012 and he rose to the position of principal scientist from 2016. Dr. Jayaprakash developed one variety of each of pineapple and papaya, which were released from State Variety Release Committee in Tripura. And at IERI, he has identified 5 superior gynodaceous papaya lines with which are having moderate resistance to papaya ring spot virus at a field level. He has also associated. He was also associated with the development and release of 4 grape varieties, such as Pusa Aditi, Pusa Swarnika, Pusa Trishar, and 2 mango hybrids, namely Pusa Manohari and Pusa Deepshika. Dr. Jayaprakash contributed significantly in mango genome assembly based on hybrid Amrapali and its parents. Presently, he is concentrating on papaya and mango rootstock improvement. Dr. Prakash has contributed significantly towards paper uh, publishing. He has contributed 72 research papers in journals of repute nationally and internationally, and has authored 4 books, 10 technical bulletin, and 18 book chapters on various topics of horticulture, especially fruit science. And he is awardee of HSI DP Ghosh Young Scientist Award and has Rasa Yashasvi Samman Award in 2018. He has guided 5 MSc students. He is the fellow of Indian Academy of Horticulture Sciences and International Society of Non-Science. At very young stage, Dr. Jayaprakash has contributed very significantly in the field of fruit science, and he is known for educating students in proper line of science. With this, I invite Dr. Jayaprakash to deliver his talk. Dr. Jayaprakash, please.
Thank you, sir. Most respected Professor Brahma Singh, respected Dr. Pritam Kalia, sir, Dr. Rajan, sir. I am thankful that all of you have given me an opportunity to share our experience on papaya in the line of health and happiness. So, throughout the talk, I will cover 3 parts. One, health and happiness for human being, and second will be the how producers or farmers or growers can be benefited out of this presentation, how we can make them healthy economy and happiness for them, and third, the academicians, students and researchers who are doing work on the papaya improvement, for them also we have the partly presentation. uh, so I was quite aware that a brief intro while introducing the topic and whole program. Professor Brahm Singh has already given the nutritional benefit what papaya have, and society is consuming for its unique combination of carbohydrate, minerals, particularly the ratio of sodium and potassium. It's very much balanced towards the potassium and antioxidants. So we all know that's very useful for cardiac diseases, for again works against the cancers, anti-inflammatory effects, promote lung health, beauty element, good antioxidants, immune support system. Almost each part of papaya is useful to improve the immune support system, particularly in last 3, 4, 5 years. Once dengue, chikungunya, malaria problems rises in the different part of the country and across the world, and COVID problem also, and people use the different parts of papaya. Then protection against the rheumatoid arthritis, promoting platelets. So not necessary. I will cover the each and every aspect of wherever it is useful. Papaya is useful for health. I will cover the certain parts in the details. One of the most prominent and at the moment very much in the use also, because a large part of country is at the moment suffering with the dengue fever. Its property against dengue fever and anti-malaria is well known, and it was well accepted by the pharmaceutical industry also, including our one of the sponsor, uh, Patanjali Ayurveda. They also prepared one dengue nil vati, where papaya is one of the very important component. And beyond this, one very important aspect is there that a compound found in the papaya leaf is the acetogeninin, which can help the prevent the dangerous disease like malaria and dengue. And a lot of industries are coming in this field. So those who cannot afford, or those who have the papaya ready-made leaves, they are using uh, through the field also, through the different institutions also. Otherwise, if it is not possible, then papaya leaf extracts is available. Then tablets are available, capsules are available. All these are helping directly or indirectly for well-being of the human being to take care from this very dangerous disease. Then papaya seeds are also used, but there are the contradictions and different type of reports. So a lot of research is going on the papaya seed. Uh, One of the malpractices common in the market when black pepper shortage is there. So some of the traders, or you can say sellers, used to mix the papaya seed with the black pepper, because normally papaya seed in general not much used in the our society. But papaya seed has the certain quality, like it makes the gut healthy, helps in the weight management, removes harmful radicals, lower cholesterol level, and it's protect the nephroprotective. As papaya fruit is also very much useful for kidney disease, then seed is also reported. But a lot of concern is there, because whatever research has been carried out in the different parts of world, that give us a sort of warning or cautious how human health concern will be there. Particularly research has done on the test tube level, particularly with the animals, where observation was there that is reduce the fertility and have the toxic effect on the cells and DNA. So if you administered the higher amount of concentration or higher amount, then administering large dose of papaya seed stress for monkeys also reported the azoospermia, that is basically lack of sperm in the semen. So whatever research is there, that is primarily on the monkey or rats. So that gives indication the higher dose may not be useful. And one of the folk medicine used in Mexico, particularly in the tribal community, where there is a practice to use as a contraceptives also. So anti-fertility, anti-implantation by reduction of progesterone level, and disruption of ostrus pattern in histological alteration of utero-ovarian tissues. That is the recent report from Elizabeth and Jane in 2021. This was on the animals only, not on the human beings. But since it is on the animals, definitely there will be impact on the human being as well. So one of the human report is there. If you use that, it's slow the human sperm. Papaya seed is stacked significantly and negatively affects the sperm motility, which is a crucial parameter for fertility for males. So spouse is likely candidate of male contraception. So one strong possibility is there in the future, because whatever details of the paper indicate that if you provide a constant amount for a longer period, then this motility of the sperm will come down. But if you withdraw that one, then it will again regain the same sperm motility. So there is a chances in the future that some of this papaya seed will be used as a contraceptives for human being. So benefits of the papaya for skin is well known. A lot of industry products are available. It's a very difficult sometimes to cite the all name because that is an indirect advertisement also. But it is used in the moisturizer skins, then fats the pigmentation, reduce dark circle, and controls acne breakouts. And they can help soothe eczema and psoriasis symptoms. Even if you use the latex from the unripe fruit directly, if you have the problem of eczema, that also removes the problem of eczema within 3 to 4 days. So that much papaya is useful for skin. So one of the famous quote from the Acharya Balakrishna was there somewhere in the site, so that I have taken. He cited two fruits, and one was the papita. That कि पपीता अमृत समान है, इन फलों का सेवन किसी भी समय कर सकते हैं, और ये फल बहुत फाइबर के बहुत अच्छे स्रोत हैं, इंटेस्टाइन को पावर देते हैं, और इनकी सेवन से जो हमारा डाइजेशन सिस्टम है बहुत अच्छा होता है, और मल आसानी से विसर्जित होता है, जो एक बड़े वर्ग की समस्या है हम सभी मनुष्य लोगों में. उस लिहाज से ये बहुत ही यूजफुल है. I know कि some of the our well-known persons who are completely surviving on papaya fruit only. They are the kidney patient who use continuously papaya only. So that much it is useful. Since leaf fruit description you will get so easily, and different parts we know it. So I have considered the mineral composition of papaya leaves on the dry wet basis. If you see the green leaf, yellow leaf, brown leaf, all these leaves you will get the different stage, and there is some varietal differences also. So here we can see the fair amount of very good amount of calcium, not only fair, a fair amount of magnesium. Sodium is also there, but sodium is lower side if you take the brown leaf. Potassium level is quite high. Iron level is very good. Magnesium level is very good. So papaya leaf have all these traits which are very much useful, not only for the increasing the platelets, saving from the other problems, but they are the source of minerals also. In the future, at the lower concentration, there is a possibility to utilize them in the functional food. So now I will move a little bit on the production side, that the papaya after the globalization and liberalization has moved a lot, but same time we are facing certain problems also, because too cold, too hot, too dry, cloudy, and all these abiotic stress and biotic stress are a hindrance for a sustainable productions or a profitable income from the field. What major producing countries are there where India is leading almost 44%, 42 to 44% productions of the globe comes from India only. At present, statistics is available for 1920. In almost 0.142 million hectare, we are producing 6 million tons. And productivity is also around 44 tons per hectare, which is almost highest in any fruit crops in India. I think banana is or grape is near to that one. Otherwise, no other fruit crop is near to this productivity. And still, we have the scope to go the productivity like Indonesia. And certain part of Nigeria has very good productivity. Even in our country itself, Gujarat and Karnataka has very good productivity. So we can take the example to them also. State-wise, Andhra Pradesh is leading in the productivity and production also, followed by Gujarat, Karnataka, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh. So all these states are doing, but largely papaya is producing almost, except typical hilly areas, in most of the part papaya is cultivated. And major producing belts in, if you go to Anantapur district of Andhra Pradesh, is are Kurnool, Mehboob or Kadapa. They are well known. And similarly in the Gujarat, this Kutch region like Sabarkantha and Banaskantha, Bharuch, all these districts are well known for papaya. And now in the Chhattisgarh, this Bastar region is coming in huge way for a cluster type of production approach. And other parts of India is also producing papaya, but not that much. So one of the old and well-known problem is the sex forms in papaya, where either we have the dioecious or gynodioecious. In the dioecious, we have two types of flowers. One is staminate, another is the pistillate. So staminate's role is primarily to provide the pollination and fertilization facility to do the female plants or pistillate flowers. And hermaphrodites, if it is available with the granodiaceous, then it also not only provide the pollination facility, but it also provides the fruit. So 100% productive plants will be there if you have the hermaphrodite. But now with the help of molecular markers, companies, institutions are coming, some from particularly down to South and Central India, that they are bringing uh, well-defined sex-known plants. Means either if you are willing to plant only female plant 100%, you can go, or 95% only few pollinator will be required. Similarly, 100% hermaphrodite plants are also possible through use of the molecular markers, and cost is still around 100 rupees. So a little bit costly, but in the future, if any kit will come, so that will further reduce the cost of production of uniform sex. So this is a typical, much more useful those who are in the academics, but farmers should also understand what type of flower is there. So wherever, if you see the D type of flower is a typical male or staminate flower, so that is they provide only pollens. And if you see the B flower is useful, very much useful, hermaphrodite. And C1 is the typical pistillate or the female flower. So based on this, we have to move. And if you move towards the E, F, G, S, so F, G, and H, particularly F and G has a problem of uh, pentroidia and carpuloidy, whereas C and D has through the barren type of ovary. So sex expression in the papaya is well-known factors, but still a lot of research is going on in that direction. And sex expression of carica papaya is very much like the Homo sapiens. So a lot of new studies or new insights has been reported in last 1 decades. Particularly the team of Ming and Paul has done a lot of genomics work. So that similarity has been found. So what deformation is important for the farmer's point of view, growers point of view? We need that stability is a big issue in the subtropical. When temperature will go upside and downside, then expression will change. So stable dioecious lines or varieties are required. In this regard, Sinta and Amina seems relatively stable. Both are the hybrids only. Sinta is from UPLP Philippines, a public sector hybrid. Amina is a private sector hybrid in India. So otherwise, flowers will develop the carpuloidy and pentroidia. So if you can see the from images also, okay, there the sex reversions are there, or barren ovaries there, all type of flowers are there, but elongata is the best one among the hermaphrodite. So they have the better nutrient, better packaging, all these benefits are there. So environment and sex is well known that if temperature and moisture influence the expression, in particularly in the bisexuals and male, and two type of male plants reported, pure male and sex reversing males. So, and hermaphrodite, sometime you can see that when males are producing the fruit, particularly during the month of March and once in the month of September. And this is always because of changes in the temperature and humidity. During low winter or low temperature, hermaphrodite elongates form to carpulite. So that time you will not get the perfect flower in the hermaphrodite plants. And at the warmer conditions, there is a trend toward the masculinity. If temperature is high, low humidity, then there will be higher number of the male plants. So long day periods favor the female flowers development, and the high moisture nitrogen level is also congenial for carpuloidy and pentroidy. That's why we have to take the help of soil health cards or soil etc. in the field, so that we have to minimize the excess application of nitrogen and create a balance of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and other micronutrients. Prolonged low soil moisture encourages the production of male and sterile plants. So some of the older varieties like Pusa Dwarf and Pusa Nanna was from this institute, was developed by Dr. Mansara, who has worked in the IRI relay station Samastipur at the Pusa. These are the varieties which created a lot of awareness and basic production structure in the country. Then in the series, we have also released one variety from our older stations, was the RCTP one, that's the Tripura Papita one, a gynodiasis variety. Basically, this was a selected from a local ambassa into honeydew combination was there. So it is a gynodiasis and but a dual type of variety, good for table purpose also and for culinary purpose, means vegetable purpose, because in the eastern part of the country a lot of demand is for kacha papita, means for vegetable purpose or for other uses. So its other traits are very good. Mortality tolerant to ring spot virus. Yield is very good. Limitation is only the its fruit shelf life. Then these two hybrids was introduced somewhere around 2000 in India. Red Lady from Taiwan and Sinta from Philippines. So both have their own advantage. Red Lady is very much popular for table purpose, and Sinta is very much popular for papain production. Then we have some international hybrids like Calimosa, where you can get in the uniform type of fruits and stature as well. Then we have Tainung 1 series, because from Taiwan a lot of breeding work has been done since 1930-40, and they have developed almost 15 hybrids. And they used to market in Southeast Asia, and India is a major market for them. So suitability and soil and climate for the growers, whether you are commercial growers or you are a lover of the papaya, want to keep in your pots or in the kitchen garden. So high fertile soil with good drainage is the primary requirement wherever you have to do. Then shallow root system will also acceptable up to 45 centimeter depth, because root is not so deep. But there should not be water stagnation. Thrive best in the full sun. Need protection against the high wind velocity or cyclone or cold. Extreme hot and dry conditions will affect the crops adversely. Temperature below 10 degrees Celsius and above 40 adversely affect the growth, flowering, fruit set, even sometimes fruit quality also. Adapted wide range of rainfall conditions, whether you have the arid region or high rainfall areas. If there is enough drainage, then we can cultivate the papaya. So seed rate is another important factor, that 80 gram seed rate is required if you are a professional and commercial grower. Then 80 gram seeds of any gynodiasis variety will be enough for 1 hectare. And if we are cultivating dioecious varieties, then 250 gram will be required, because in that case we have to go at least 3 seedling per pit, so that's 3 times higher amount is required. But in the future, once molecular marker everything will establish, we can reduce this quantity also. Then planting time, the spring season, Feb and March, because the Feb and March planting was earlier not possible, but last 20 years, a lot of investment in the protected cultivation is there. So every village you can see some small poly houses are there. Or now, because of the polythene availability, you can create your own structure in the low tunnels also in the month of January, so that you can raise the nursery. Otherwise, germination is very difficult during the winter season, particularly central, western, and northern part of the country. So June, July is not advisable for any region of the India because of high rainfall, a lot of mortality, viral problem, and color rot is there. Post monsoon, a lot of planting is there, not only in the northern India, even in the southern India also. A lot of post monsoon planting is there, and that gives a better yield. Spacing is also an important aspect. Tall varieties 2 meter up to 1.8 or 2 meter we can go, like Red Lady, Amina, Sapna, Kurkhani, or 7, 8, etc. Dwarf varieties we can go up to 1.5 into 1.5 meter, but below this you will not get a very good yield. If you are using mechanization, etc., because nowadays labor shortage is there, labor efficiency is concerned, the growers and farmers has to bring down the input cost, so they are using small size tractors, like one of the very famous tractor Yuvraj is very much popular. So in between, for intercultural operations, we can increase this spacing also. Then, as we discussed earlier, for dioecious variety, we require 3 plants. There is a 2-way. Either you plant 3 seedlings in 1 pit, or have the seedling in the single line at a distance of 70 centimeter or 60 centimeter. And once you observe the flowering, you can keep the 95% plant of female and rest males you can remove, only keep 5% for pollination and fertilization. So the spacing of 1.8 into 1.8 meter spacing, that much is required, because this particularly petiole length is very important. So another aspect regarding the papaya is that the protected structure, particularly when we have the two issues, major two issues are there, that we are not able to control the virus problem, because virus is basically from the aphid and whitefly, and because alternate hosts are available here or there in the open field system, and again we have the low temperature problem, and we don't have as such virus control and to manage the low temperature also. That's why idea came to shift in the protected structures, whether it is a poly house or insect proof net house. And these two factors was the major. And third advantage was with the papaya. Papaya is not like other fruit crops. Its fruiting is the vertical ones. Even if we increase the poly house or net house height, we can get the better fruiting zone up to 1.5, 2 meter, 2.5 meter. Even a variety like Pusananna, which we tried earlier in our experimentation farm, we got the almost 1.5 meter fruiting zone compared to hardly 70 centimeter or 65 centimeter in the open system in Pusananna. So that much change has taken place in the net houses. That is evident from this picture also. So if you go for other genotypes, other varieties, because we have also developed 5 inbred lines which are good, although we are using them for development of hybrids, which will come later stage. So insect-proof net house are much better compared to polyhouse, because in polyhouse, maintaining ideal or congenial temperature for growth and flowering fruiting during the summer is a difficult job. So a lot of energy or electric is required, but insect-proof net house is more useful and cheaper also, and we can manage the aphid and whitefly movement inside the net house, and we can get the better quality fruit crop there. So these are the three our inbred lines which we are cultivating or raising inside the net house also, for our breeding purpose also, or for production purpose also. And we are getting very good, you can see that the fruiting zone is here in not less than 1.5 meter in any genotype. So that is advantage there. Only one issue sometime comes out, how to go for pollination and fertilization, because inside net house, that is a limiting factor. So then, to sustain the protected structures cultivation or polyhouse cultivation or net house cultivations, we have the develop one mechanism how to uh, take the yield from same plot or from same net house continuously 3 year, 4 year, 5 year. So we have developed the standardized the pollarding techniques, which I think we have published the first paper somewhere in 2015, and later on also few studies came here and there, that from same field we have taken 5 crops with 10 to 15% replacement. And best time what we find, that the Feb and March month in Delhi condition, in North India condition, you can say is the ideal for going pollarding. And 40 to 50 centimeter range is the perfect, because sometimes we have to find out the a node or not a very tunnel type of structure while removing the pole. So once you do this operation, then after 20, 25, 30 days, sprouts will come. And out of there will be sprouts not less than 30, 35, and sometime 100 also. So we have to keep only 2, not more than 2 in any case. Otherwise, one is more relevant, and that where crotch angle is lower side. Normally in other crops, we prefer the wider crotch angle, but in this case, the lower crotch angle will prefer. So like this one, you can see that this is the, we have taken already 4 crop. This was the 5th crop. So how many time we have done the pollarding operations. So in first year, you can see like this one, you go for pollarding at this side, then the sprouts will come, then you allow only 1 nut, not more than 2 in any case. So this was a very good aspect, and a lot of visitors came, including our farmer DG, Dr. Mangala, farmer director, Dr. H.S. Gupta, Professor N.K. Singh, a famous biotechnologist, All of them has visited this net house protection and the pollarding techniques also. What important is there, whether you cultivate in the outside or the inside, the manuring and fertilization will remain common if you are applying, because normally nutrient requirement is per plant basis, not necessary for acre wise or hectare wise. But older recommendation, if you go, they will give the hectare also. But we deal here as per plant wise, like the normal recommendation is 15 to 20 kg of compost. But I would like to highlight one of the part. As far as papaya is concerned, if we are applying higher dose of organic inputs, then whether it's been open or outside, there are the positive effect of it. Even in open condition, the viral infection expression will be delayed because of the higher level of organic supplement. So we have to make the balance of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and the micronutrients also. For that, we have already given the dose of 90 gram urea, 250 gram single superphosphate, 110 gram of minute of potash. Uh, 1 week before or 1 day before of the planting, and same amount of NPK 5 times at the 2 month interval. First 3 doses we have to provide the phosphatic fertilizer, but in the once flowering will start, then we have to support the nitrogenous and potassium fertilizer along with the micronutrient. Micronutrient is very important once flowering will start, and if you apply foliar spray is very useful. If we are following the fertigation system, then it is again very useful, because I have the fertigation schedule, but I have not kept here because that will take almost 3 slides, because every fortnight we have to go for the fertilizer applications in this case. So use of trichoderma, then vascular or vascular mycorrhiza is very useful. Humic acid is very useful. Even I have used personally for this when I was in my earlier station, the indigenous cow urine also 3 ml per liter. That is also very useful. And last month I was in the Chhattisgarh also. That time also saw the one of the farmers where least virus infection was there. He was using mostly the biofertilizers along with the indigenous cow urine. So for fertilization, it is important to know where is your root system. So it is important to know the root systems. That's why I have kept this slide. If you have the idea about the root system, then provide the fertilizer near to the root system, not very close to the trunk also, because 45 to 60 centimeter the range. And if you do like then you can see one a hyphy farmers or hyphy growers like this one. If we are in doing the open planting system, then we can provide the top dressing like this one as indicated in this particular image. Do not mix up at the deep, because if you go deep for intercultural operations or mixing the soil with the fertilizer, then root cut will be there, and this plant is very much susceptible to the pythium or phytophthora infections. One of the biggest problem of the world in the papaya is the ring spot virus. Those who works in the papaya, they know how it is dangerous, or some of the cucurbits, how virus is very dangerous. And papaya provides a lot of immune health to the human being or other animals, but the plant himself is very weak and very poor defense system is there, particularly in the carica papaya. So because of this poor defense mechanism inside the carica papaya, the invaders got a chance to infect it through the aphid, that is the ring spot virus from potivirus group. And it's a symptom you can observe not on the leaf, petiole, trunk, fruit, a lot of distortion, and chlorophyll loss will be there. So ultimately, it never kills the plant, but your productivity will be down almost 90%. So how we can manage this? So many guidelines are there, but most important is there. Raise your nursery in the insect proof net house. Use the biofertilizer since beginning, and raise the border crop like jowar, bajra, maize, or banana, whatever possible in your region, at least 2 to 3 row, except banana, so that because aphid is not a normal, not a papaya is not a host plant for aphid, but aphid just roam here and there, and they when one incision or bite is enough to transfer the PRSV virus in this plant. Use of tolerant varieties, normally most of the tall and yellow pulp varieties express later infection compared to the red one, what we have studied and experienced over a period. Of course, cross protection is one of the options, but a little bit costly, and only in laboratory it is possible. Transgenic, still we have the policy issue, and we don't have as such transgenic variety for our country. Leaf curl virus is again a very big problem, particularly in northern and central part, but now it is also coming in the down to south also. So whitefly is the vector there, but good thing is that we can manage the whitefly by clean cultivation, particularly month of June to September, because that is the most activity period of the most active period for whitefly. And spray imidacloprid 3 ml per 10 liter of water if population is high. And inside the net house in the open system also we can use the yellow sticky trap, which is very effective if you are maintaining your field neat and clean. Then all the white fly will move towards your yellow sticky traps. Millibag was not a big problem 10 years back, but his problem started down to south. But now this Paracoccus marginatus is not only infecting our papaya, even other plants also. If you go in the any nursery, you can see the Paracoccus is there, even including it is infecting the people also. So infesting the people also, that much hardy plants. So one our National Bureau of Agriculturally Important Insect, or who's uh, earlier known as the Biological Control Institute in Bangalore, they have imported one parasitoid Acirophagus papayi from Mexico, which is useful to manage this Paracoccus in the field. Otherwise, we also use the carbosulfan 0.75 ml per liter. But carbosulfan, I think, in the somewhere in the yellow list. So sooner or later, it may be in the ban. So we have to find out the alternatives also. Mite is a problem very much in the net house and poly house throughout the globe. So we have to be careful, particularly in the month of April to June. That is the crucial month. Whenever humidity is lower side, temperature is high, then mite is very serious problem. Uh, Spiromacifin application is very much effective, but we have to rotate the acaricide, and same time we have to reduce the load of acaricide also from. If it is in the fruiting, then we should avoid the use of acaricide. It's better to use of the spray of the water. That also reduce the problem of mite. Normally, you will not get the whole area, only one or two plants in the corner or in the near to any other border field. You will observe the symptom. So, color rot, root rot, foot rot is a serious problem, particularly if water stagnation is there or temperature is high or above 36 degrees Celsius around the collar zone or rhizosphere. That time, this PTM or Phytophthora foot rot or color rot is a serious problem. So symptom will come that your growing leaves will become yellow. So for that we have to have proper drainage, use of trichoderma as I have suggested earlier at the nursery stage. Then go for soil drenching if problem is huge with the ridomil or metalaxis 4% plus mancozeb 64%, 2 gram per liter, almost 100 to 150 ml we have to pour through the trunk in the rhizosphere, and if you possible use some sand also. Once you manage all these things, then you will reach towards the maturity and degree of ripeness and harvest time. If it is the more than 15% yellow, your peel is there, then that is the stage one. Particularly if you are transporting for a longer distance, suppose someone is cultivating in Gujarat, Karnataka, Chhattisgarh, want to transport in Delhi. So for them, this is the ideal stage. Sometimes used to say even for export purpose also, because from the degree of ripeness 1 stage to degree of ripeness 5 stages, it will take 5 to 7 days in the normal temperature condition. So accordingly, we have to play. For kitchen garden, for your own consumption, you can harvest the fruit at the DR5 stage, but sometime because of bird and other damages, we can harvest a little bit early also. So being a climatic fruit, there is no issue of the its ripening by keeping at the dry and cool places in 3 to 4 days. So for commercial production system, particularly in the Mexico, Brazil, they follow this system. Now even I have seen the BNR people are also following all this packaging material, sending their own material to the Delhi and Mumbai market. But that is a better way, because in last 10 year of fruits in general has got a better respect for transport and packaging, etc. Post-harvest diseases are still a big concern, because towards the ripening, there is a ready-made sugar is there. If something is good for human being, then it is very often good for all the pathogen, parasites, and other animals as well. So the moment ripening, fruit will move towards the ripening. You will see the alternaria rot will there, black storm in rod is there, phytophthora stem rod is there, formosus rod is there, pomo rot is there. All these fungal problems will come there. So for that we have to go for the fungicide spray at least 10 to 15 days before in the field, and after harvesting we have to follow the certain protocols has been reported or studied by the different workers over a period. Like hot water treatment is a popular ones, 49 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. uh, Separate the infected fruits immediately once you observed, and use the better packaging material. uh, do not pack any fruit if there is a surface moisture is there. So we have to dry it and maintain the temperature for ripening and transport smoothly. So now in third part, I would like to move the towards the priorities of the breeding, how breeding has moved in the academics. In the early 70s, uniformity was an important trait, then quality came, then some cosmetics issues came like heterosis stability, disease resistance, designer traits, bacterial dieback. Now the era of either you have to increase the shelf life of the fruit, either come for the designer traits or the bacterial dieback or resistance against the viruses. All these studies are going at the moment throughout the globe in our country as well. Those who are willing to study the sex expression studies in papaya or any other crop plants, for them papaya is a model uh, plant for evolution studies in the sex chromosome. So we all know how sex expression is there from story to half mare, and then it was much more advanced after 40 years later by the Ming and co-workers. So the earlier which we used to study M1 and M2, now concept came from X and Y, just like Homo sapiens. So still the a lot of study in the recombinant genomic region of particularly Y and YS chromosome, which is the ninth chromosome. So for those who are interested in study in the sex chromosome, for them we have to go for the review of work in the papaya. That will be very useful. So males and hermaphrodites have two slightly different Y chromosome which share 98.8% sequence homology. So stability, instability in the males and hermaphrodite because of this uh, genetic combinations only. So before proceeding for any breeding, it's important to know for the inheritance or of the craft. So as a good combiners, we know the sunrise, solo, pink, flesh, sweet, good, wine, molottices, and that has given us some. This study has given a good variety in the name of Arka Surya from IHR Bangalore. Kurkhanidu, flesh, seed, and Washington good combiners for yield heterosis obtained for hybrid seed control by non-additive genes. Red pulp color in papaya governed by recessive. Yellow is dominant one. Metagenia effect is also noticed. But in previous study, we have studied a large combinations, but we could not find that may be some other factor responsible. So yellow pulp color is dominant over orange or red, and green color of the fruit is dominant over yellow. So whatever problem is there nowadays, either you have to bring the resistance in your varieties so that you can reduce the input cost or reduce the risk of the growers. So a lot of effort has been in the using Vasconcelia cauliflora, the wild papaya species, where pollen viability is becoming issue and the F1 level. But some of the work from our institute like ISR that I will come at the later stage, has been done in this time. Then nowadays in the Australians, Philippines, and US, people are working with the Vasconcelia quercifolia, which is a source of PRSBP resistance. That's Professor Mansardeft and Professor Raju. These two gentlemen are basically from horticulture improvement sector from US and Australia, has done a lot of work on this level. Another good taste of interest is that the high sugar content. And just to imagine that in the Higgins and Holt has attempted this work in 1914, almost 110 year back, and they succeeded first time by Mansardeft and Benslab in 1989. So sometime in the research it takes 60 years, 70 years to make any dent. So Candida marcensis we are also utilizing in our own farm because low temperature problem or frost damage is a major problem in northern and central part of India. If we want to see, to cultivate papaya as a commercial and successful crop in the subtropical region. So we are utilizing the Candida marcensis as a source of resistance because it has compatibility with the Vasconcelia parviflora, so that we are using as a bridge species. It is available in the phytoton, in our own phytoton, although parviflora we have like Kalia papaya only for some of the traits except the fruit color and flower color and fruit quality. So we are utilizing this species to develop a intergeneric hybrid so that later on we can, that will be a pre-breeding work, but later on we can develop a useful hybrid. Heterosis exploitation is another aspect where we are also working like UPLP's Public Sector Institute from Las Piñas, Philippines has developed the Sinta hybrid, which is well known for its papain production. The variety was developed for the to compete with the red lady, but because of its very good, excellent shelf life, fruit can sustain even 15 to 20 days after ripening. So that trait has given the opportunity to go for the papain productions being ganodaceous. So it is a leading variety of the world in the ganodaceous for papain production. And Arca Surya is one of the sweetest or best quality variety for fruit is there from our IHR Bangalore. They have developed using solo and pink fleece, but limitation is again there as a susceptibility to fungal and viral diseases. So from ISR work, they have done the work with the using Arca Surya and cauliflora as a donor ones. They have developed the intergeneric hybrid, which is pink pulp and castor leaf become as a uh, morphological marker for identification of intergeneric hybrid, particularly from cauliflora. So these two were the findings from there. But even after 10 generations, still there is a segregation that is a concern, but still they are working on this line to stabilize this hybrid as a commercial product. So mutation breeding, only one successful work was done by the Professor Mansaram almost 40, 50 years back. And that was a product as a Pusa Nanna came, which is still a unique dwarf material for so many traits. So we can further looking after it. One of the our colleague Dr. Kanaya Singh is working on the mutation breeding. So that will produce some of the traits which are not available in your uh, Kairkia papaya genome. On the similar line, some ISR working are also the allele mining work is going on there. So thanks for your kind attention. If there is any query and questions, I will reply. I think I missed one part, that is the economics of the papaya cultivations. So I can suggest at this stage, if you are cultivating in the open cultivation system, you can get 2.5 to 3 lakh rupees from 1 acre area. And if you are cultivating in the net house system, then first year your production will be just, your income will be just a 0 1 because of the high cost of net house. But if you follow the pollarding system, then next 4 year, 5 year, you can get from a 500 square meter area, you can get almost 75,000 to 1.25 lakh rupees. That's what we have experienced over a period in our experiment station. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Jay Prakash, for covering the different aspects of the papaya. starting from health, and I don't find my expert here, co-organizer Dr. Rajan. Uh, so, in absence of Rajan, I request Dr. Pritam Kalia just
Yes,
to
sir.
highlight a few points which Dr. Jay Prakash has highlighted on the health benefits of papaya and the biomolecules in that ripened fruit which we eat. And the rest I will try to comment upon.
Yes, sir. Sir, I think we had, I think viewers would agree that they have had a very wonderful talk on all aspects of papaya, how to cultivate it successfully and get benefited from it, and also to educate consumers from its health point of view, as Dr. Prakash has given in detail that especially in this season now, from October, November, there is a lot of problem in North India, especially from dengue and malaria, and papaya is on the lookout, not from the fruit point of view, but from the leaves point of view, that the leaf contains acetogenin, as Dr. Prakash has mentioned. It's important compound which for which the papaya is used significantly to counter the dengue fever and malaria especially. uh, the details of papaya, different types of varieties which has been developed, and the other benefits that the cosmetic industry also the papaya seeds especially it has, and also on the skin as a moisturizer and from protecting against eczema. Papaya does a good job. So and also from diabetes point of view, that we know that is always papaya is the first fruit which is recommended for those who suffer from diabetes and kidney patients, as Dr. Prakash has mentioned, and constipation it counters very well. So from consumers point of view, I think there is a tremendous job that Dr. Prakash has done, and I know that I was at ICAR-IARI, and he has been working very closely on papaya, although he has contributed to other fruit crops also significantly, being associated with in other crops. But papaya solely, when we talk about papaya in ICAR-I, go to Jay Prakash ji, he must be in the first floor or in the field. So that is the sort of diligence and attachment to the crop to bring out further, because there is a lot of problem in papaya cultivation and all aspects. Dr. Prakash has attended here, from the planting point of raising of seedlings, planting time, the mineral composition of leaves, that has also been mentioned, that green leaf, how they are useful, and the production. What are the leading, as mentioned, that India is the leading country from papaya production point of view, and which are the states and the belts where papaya is cultivated, and it is spreading in other areas based on the new technologies that has come forward, and especially the new technology that pollarding he has mentioned is a tremendous job, that with the same inputs that you are doing. I think he's mentioned that economics he has not, but here is the economics, where you are not cultivating the crops again and again, but from the same crop, by sort of retuning, that is pollarding called here, you are getting five crops with the same inputs, not much, not adding much of inputs. So that way you are reducing the cost of cultivation, and you are increasing the income. So that is the entrepreneurship, or you say that profitability point, and the small and marginal farmers always look how to enhance the income of these farmers. And also he has mentioned that farmers sometimes are not aware of, and the new people who try to jump into papaya cultivation, what kind of plants variety they look for, whether the sex ratio has mentioned, it's an important issue, that whether you pick up all male plants cultivated and later on you find that you had male plants. So it's important aspect that educating farmers and also the new generation also, that how you make the crop successful when you land in the field, and not repent at a later stage that what kind of material that you have picked up. And different varieties, Dr. Prakash has mentioned, even the international hybrids, a lot of photograph slides he has shown, which are important. And that especially that the drainage point, which is very important. The root system we have seen, he has shown, is quite shallow, and it doesn't, the crop doesn't prefer water to be stagnated around. So the area or locations to be selected must be such that there should not be stagnation of water for cultivation of this crop. And also that potential of this crop in protected cultivation, as a lot of diseases, and especially this ring spot virus and also leaf curl virus he has mentioned about, that the protected cultivation, insect-free net house cultivation is internationally now being exploited. And Dr. Prakash is also practicing in his fields, and he has shown the results that it's doing very well. So that part is very important, and I think that manuring aspects, which also he has mentioned, that a lot of nitrogen need not to be added, and at flowering stage we have to take care of the micronutrients and the organic system, which people are looking forward for the organic products. And he has shown that organic products are giving positive dividends on papaya from any angle, and even the virus they lessen, they're delayed sort of things. So that is a positive sign that we look forward for organic papaya from that point of view. And the parasitoid for millibug, which he has mentioned, which is good to for biological control of such insect pests, which is important aspect. And from the maturity harvest point of view, that maybe the location is somewhere else and your market is somewhere else, so what stage you need to harvest, whether it's kitchen garden where you can fully ripe fruits at D5 and DR5 stage you can harvest, but delay you do, then the post harvest disease problem also is invited from that point of view. And the academic part, that breeding aspect, which I was initially looking that either he will miss that part, but very beautifully he brought out those aspects towards the end of his talk, where wild species utilization, which is very important aspect, uh, because that is the aspect which takes us to the future, the futuristic approach. That, and as he has mentioned, that it may takes many years to come to the good results to come. So that is a futuristic plan that you do, employing such species and coming out with the genetic stocks which can be incorporated into future breeding program. And those people who do not have those facility to handle these intergenic crosses or interspecific crosses, you can make use of the genetic stocks which are developed through pre-breeding programs. So that's very important aspect that in papaya breeding is taken forward at IARI. Although from quality point of view, the IHR people has also done quite well. And the heterosis breeding aspects, the commercial angle that has shown, although initially about the cosmetic industry point of view, things has come up because of those the important compounds in it. But papain is very important. I think in our country also we can look forward for such aspects where these crops can contribute to the industry development in future, vis-a-vis the consumer's preference that we of course always look forward for. So I think based on this beautiful talk that we have had from Dr. Jay Prakash, who is very polite and silent worker and concentrating on things. He's not in hurry to show that he has done this thing or that thing, but slowly he's moving, and all and the work which comes out, the results which comes out, they will show at later stage that yes, the work has been done, and people start appreciating. So with this, I thank Dr. Jay Prakash holistically. I think he has bright future to move forward in this crop, and it's not necessary that he can spread his limbs in other fruit crops. He can say bye bye to others and concentrate on this. There is a lot of potential in this crop itself. So with that, I thank you very much, Dr. Prakash, for a
Thank
nice
you, sir.
talk.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Kalia, for summarizing the entire talk. Very good. You have, I think, made my job easy. Can someone display the questions? There are a lot of appreciation. Few questions are there. Question may also be displayed. Acha, this is from Dr. Lalu Prasad Yadav. How much quantity of papaya leaf juice required for curing dengue? Dr. Saab, you are a doctor now. Doctor, matlab medical doctor. You deal with the dengue. Whatever little you know about it,
Yes,
please.
sir. Sir, whatever recommendation has been given by the different workers, because in our country also some of the clinical studies there, some papers are there. So they are in the practice 5 ml to 10 ml. 5 to 10 ml, just considering the age and the stage of the patient, not more than this, because higher level of
And I add to it, please consult the physician
yes,
before giving this dengue for the treatment of dengue, the papaya leaves. Better consult the doctor and then do that. Next question. Pusa Nanna, the first mutant variety of papaya, was released in India in 1987. Has any other mutant variety papaya been released in India after that date? Or Pusa Nanna still remains the only mutant variety of papaya in India? Dr. Jay Prakash Ji.
yes, sir. This question is from Dr. Mohan C. Kharkwal. I know him. He is a very famous breeder and genetics worker. So after
Mutation breeding.
Pusananna, because that work was carried out by Professor Mansaram in our regional station Samastipur. There are no other variety developed from through the mutation breeding. Only in last 5 years, Dr. Kanhaiya Singh has developed certain M1, M2 stage of the some of the lines, but no other variety. Only Pusananna is there.
Thank you, Doctor. And I think there is no more question there. Anyway, so with this, I thank Dr. Prasad to highlight the health benefits of papaya, health benefits of papaya. And very interestingly, he has linked the sacs problem of papaya with human sacs, and he has gone to the extent that there is a potential from this papaya seed you can develop the oral contraceptive. Great, great. Someone should explore it. It has come out clearly from his talk. The another thing with Dr. Kalia also is stressed upon from his talk, the pollarding. Pollarding, I think, requires intensive study and popularization. I'm sure this will be popular in coming years, particularly under net houses, where the problem of vectors, virus vectors, is taken care of. So that is another thing, and the organic part he has dealt with. There is a craze for the organic produce, so there is a possibility of having organic produce. So every aspect of this or part of the papaya leaf, fruit, and the fruit sap, what you call the papain. Papain is a great contributor to the human health, I should say.
Yes, sir.
See,
Yes.
treatment and management or prevention, they are very interesting thing. Prevention is better than cure.
Sure.
Though it looks a simple statement, but it has got all
Yes.
meanings. If you make a papaya as a part of your diet, whether you take it in dessert or take it in a breakfast or somewhere, whatever way you like it, even the vegetable, cooked vegetable, uh, it is, I think, is helpful, and it will keep the problem at a distance. You won't have the constipation, and you are not likely to suffer the other traits. And everything is related with the digestion system, and it is taking care of the digestion system. So if your digestion is okay, rest of the things are already taken care of, and he is a major player in your digestive system. Let me admit with you, friends, I am a regular taker of this papaya. Without papaya, my digestive system does not behave. So I think this must be the thing with a lot many people, and I have inquired from different people where they are fond of papaya, and because of that they keep a good digestive system. Then remunerative part of this, the farmers, he has very silently and quietly and in few words he has given you the economic of this. It is quite paying. Had it not been paying, as I told you in my introduction part, that it is available everywhere and throughout the year. If it is not economical, the crop won't be there in the market. So that itself is a proof that it is a quite paying one. But further you can add to that income what the farmers are getting. Dr. Jay Prakash has clearly pointed out. And it is a problematic crop. And the problem is with the sacs, interesting one. Sacs expression is the biggest problem in that, followed by the viral diseases. So I think extensive study is still needed, or further intensification of study on the sacs expression should get the priority and adequate fund and adequate attention to overcome this problem. And something I don't know, long back somebody, a professor, I think, I'm forgetting his name, he was director of IAHR also. There also he contributed in papaya production, and IAHR, I should mention it emphatically, have contributed a lot in papaya fruit crops. They are known for that, doing a good work, and I congratulate them for doing that. So he person, I think Pandeji, Dr. Pandeji, developed the
RM
tissue
Pandit.
culture, R.N. Pandeji, the tissue culture technique of that. So if the tissue culture is made possible, the problem of our sacs and planting three sapling together and waiting in them to flower, I think can be overcome, what I feel, if
Yes.
tissue culture technique. And I'm sure, I think if the tissue is taken from the gynoecious line, should behave as a gynoecious one until unless you subject it to the varied temperature, etc., what he talked about. So tissue culture, I feel should be given due importance in that. And rest, the post harvest one, uh, that technology is advanced, a lot of work has been done, and they have gone to the extent of bagging the fruit also. Bagging of fruit here, the is I think major role is that to avoid the abrasions there, जिसको बोलते हैं रगड़ लग करके खराब हो गया है, तो उसके लिए बहुत अच्छा है. It's a good one and it's a good fruit. So in the end, I can say I can just sum it up that जय प्रकाश जी की जय हो. उन्होंने हमको बहुत सारा ज्ञान दिया आज पपाया के ऊपर, और मैं इससे ज़्यादा और क्या कह सकता हूँ. इस एक सेंटेंस के अंदर ही सब कुछ छिपा हुआ है. तो जय प्रकाश जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. बहुत अच्छा आपने हमको नॉलेज दिया. I'm sure viewers are with me only on this what I have said. With these words, I thank one and all, particularly the viewers, Dr. Kalia and the speaker and others, those who have helped. Okay, good night. Next time we
Thank
will
you, sir.
be, I
हमारा
think,
सौभाग्य था आज के लिए.
thank you.
Thank you.
Next time, next Tuesday, we will be, I think, with the
Suraj.
Sarojji, his talk was due, I think, on 26th, so it was postponed. Somebody asked me what is the next date. So for him, the answer is the date is here, 9
नवंबर. इसको
November.
चेंज करना पड़ेगा सर.
हाँ
सर
जी, हाँ जी.
ये डेट बदलनी पड़ेगी. 9 अक्टूबर लिखा हुआ, 9 नवंबर करना पड़ेगा इसको.
हाँ जी, ठीक है. जो इसको कर रहे हैं भैया सुन लें, इसको 9 नवंबर करिए. खाली 9 चेंज करने से ही बात नहीं बनेगी. इसको 9 नवंबर कर करके भेजिए, उसको हम सर्कुलेट कराएंगे. ठीक है. सो विद दीज वर्ड्स, गुड नाइट एवरीबडी. शुभ रात्रि. और आपको हैप्पी धनतेरस और आने वाले सभी त्योहार, दीपावली की भी बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं. सभी जितने भी त्योहार आ रहे हैं, सबकी शुभकामनाएं आप सबको. धन्यवाद.
और आपको भी धनतेरस की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं सर, और हैप्पी